assumption, assume. Have you ever made a fool of yourself because you have assumed something that isn't true? Now, we like to think that when we see something, we assess the situation and say, oh, well, this must be what's going on. So, for example, there's snow on the mountain, today's freezing cold, and I'm wearing a ski jacket, so it's probably winter time. You could assume that. But I live in the South Island of New Zealand, where sometimes in the middle of summer we have snow on the mountain and it's freezing cold and I have to wear a ski jacket. So there's a good example of don't assume. And it doesn't matter if you assume that, because it doesn't matter about what season it is really. But have you ever been in a situation where you have assumed something to be true, made comment on it, and then it wasn't true? So here's another simple example. Yesterday I yelled and screamed and cheered for a group of people, and I talked a lot during the day. And today I have a croaky voice. So most people that I've chatted to today have assumed that Rowie's sick. So Rowie, I'm so sad that you're sick. I hope you get better soon. Now that's a very big assumption. I'm not sick. I'm fantastic. But is it possible that when people plant seeds into your head that you start thinking about it? Now I'm a tough, strong, powerful woman. Yay. So when somebody says, Rowie, you must be sick, that doesn't mean I'm going to get sick. But there's an interesting thing, because I'm going to join those two together now. How many people assume that because it's winter and because it's cold, they're going to get sick? And that's where the brain becomes very powerful. So the people that you surround yourself with and the information that's going into your brain, if the people that are telling you stuff, they're feeding you information, whether that's social media or out of a book or the people that you hang out with, is it possible that you can take on that stuff? And the behavioural scientists will share with us that's exactly what happens. We become the same as, or we take on the traits of, the 5 people that we invest, spend, or waste the most time with. So I never want, this is a really personal thing for me, but I don't ever want to assume that somebody is doing a certain thing or acting a certain way because it looks that way. So another example, somebody might get really angry and they swear at you and they carry on. And that might upset you. But here's a great question to ask. Do you know why that person is angry or why they're upset? Or are you assuming that they're angry with you? And I always use this example. I went into a public toilet on the Gold Coast in Australia, and the cleaning lady was in there. And I said, hello, how are you? She turned to me with a very angry face, and I'm going to verbatim share with you how she responded to my how are you today, which was, why the fuck do you care? That was her response to me. Now I could assume that she's angry with me. I've also been on the planet a little while, so I knew that she wasn't angry with me because she didn't know me. So I didn't assume she was angry with me. All I could gather, all I knew is that there was something going on in her life for her to be that angry with somebody that she didn't know. So that's exactly what I said. I said, tell me about that. About 2 hours later, I got out of that public toilet because she shared her whole life story with me. And that's my whole thing about communication, because assumption is a very ugly, poor communication tool. If you assume anything about anybody, it could get you into trouble. If you never assume, you just ask questions, you're very unlikely to get into trouble. And that is the very, very powerful tool that will stop assumption, which is rather than make a statement because you've assumed something, always ask a question. So instead of assuming that because somebody's got a croaky voice, they must be sick, I wonder why they've got a croaky voice. And it could be a joke. It could be, Rowie, you've got a really croaky, sexy voice today. What have you been doing that's given you such a sexy voice? Which is far more positive than, oh, Rowie, I'm so sad that you're sick. And I'm again using that as an example. But the question here is always question. What if you always, every time something is about to come out of your mouth, a statement, what if you thought about it? How can I turn this? Because again, if you think about it, it's going to mean that your communication and conversation slows down, which is usually a really good thing. But how can I turn this statement into a question so that I'm never accused of, or I never get in trouble of, assumption or assuming? And I don't want to assume because I don't want to make a fool of myself. And that's that assume, arse of you and me. That's how that word's broken up. And how many times, and I've lived on the planet a very long time, I have made an absolute ass of you and me because I've assumed. So I don't want to do that. Just as an interesting side note, if somebody's lost weight, we assume that they've been on a diet or they've been exercising, and that's exactly what they wanted to happen. So we often say when we see somebody that's lost weight, wow, you look fantastic, congratulations. Well, there's two ugly bits to that, and this is again just a communication experience to consider. That person could be sick and that's why they've lost weight. That person could have horrible stress in their life and that's why they've lost weight. They might not wanted to have lost weight. And by saying you look good now, is it possible that we've suggested they looked horrible before? Could that just be a yucky thing to say? Now, we never say it, I'm sure we don't ever say to somebody, you look gorgeous or you look amazing, congratulations, you've lost weight. I don't think we ever say that as an ugly, horrible thing to say. But is it possible that it could be ugly, it could be horrible, because we don't know we've assumed that person wanted to lose weight, they've been on a diet, they've put in a big effort, and they've lost a lot of weight. But that is an assumption that I don't ever want to make. I've been caught out by that particular assumption too many times. And if you've ever been at the receiving end of that, where somebody said to you, wow, you look amazing, and you don't really feel amazing, or you never wanted to lose weight, or you feel offended because did I look horrible before, then you'll probably get where I'm coming from. I'm asking very personally, let's not assume. If we assume, is it possible that we'll make an ass of you and me? And I don't want to make an ass of myself ever. I would really like to make people feel special, important and worthwhile. I would never like to offend them or hurt them. So live your life to the max, making people feel super duper doo. How are you? Living my life to the max, aiming to make people feel fantastic. Woohoo!